Good morning, friends. In the last lectures, we complete bevel gears. So that's why third units. Today I am starting worm gears. So in the worm gears, when the two gears are when the two shafts are not intersecting or not parallels, or means when the two shafts are not parallel, and when the two shafts are intersecting with each other, so that times we can use worm type of the gears. So here it consists of the two gears. One is the worm is drive, and worm wheel is a gear. So here this worm is shape means like a thread on worm is like screw thread, and worm wheels thread like gear. So generally this is consists of suppose this is worm shaft and this worm shaft. Like worm shafts, and here's this is the toothed portions of the worm wheel. So here's in the slots, likewise threads. So this is worm and this is worm wheel. When and this is worm is connected with motor. So this is to be connect with the motors. So this may be output shaft here by using couplings. You can connect these worms with the motors, and this is with the to drive the. So the speed reduction in worm wheel or worm gear is 300:1. So this is the for single start. So such type of the worm gears, when the high velocity ratio or when high gear ratio is required, so that times we can use worm wheels. So what are the advantages about the worm wheels as compared to other types of the gears that we'll see. But this is the shape, and this is the worm you can call as a worm shaft, and this is the worm wheels, or this is simply you can call as a worm. So this is D1 is the its diameters and pitch circle diameters, and this is D2 is the pitch circle diameter of the worm wheel. So first we'll see what are the advantages of the worm gears over the other gear, and what are the disadvantages of the worm gear. So first advantages. High speed reduction a speed reduction 300:1 can be obtained for single start worm gear, and in the some of the cases this may be increased up to 1000:1 also. Next, the operation is smooth and silent. Operation is smooth and silent as compared to the spur gears and helical gear drive. Third point is the provision can be made for self-locking operation the motion where the motion can be motion is transmitted only from motion is transmitted only from worm to worm wheel. This is advantages in application like crane, heights, etc. So only one type of them is one directions motions can be transferred. Worm wheel to worms power cannot be transmitted. So this is the self-locking, and generally this efficiency of the worm gear is more than 50% because you heard efficiency of the screw jacks and that is the less than 50%. But worm means in the cranes efficiency is in between 50 to 90%. Disadvantages. So what are these are the major advantages. Disadvantage. The efficiency is low compared with spur and helical gear. Efficiency is low. The worm wheel is generally made of phosphorus, bronze, which increase the cost. So generally material which is used for the worms, because the teeth of the worms, that is continuously quantity in the worm wheels, that teeth is means material for the worm, that is the hardened steels, generally hardened steels, because more stress that is comes on the worms, and less stress on the comes on the worm wheels. But due to the gliding and the line contacts occurs in the teeth above the matching teeth above the worm and worm wheels. So because of the line contacts and the sliding frictions, generations of the heat in the worm gear is more as compared to spur gears and helical gears. So because of that, heat is to be dissipate. So that's why the material for the worm wheel is generally used is the phosphorus bond, because of the, as per the considerations of the, it's a capacity of the transfer of the heat from the system to the surrounding. So that's why next considerable amount of heat is generated. Heat is generated that heat is to be transferred to gearbox body by using lubricating oil and finally to the surroundings. So that heat is to, whatever may be the amount of the heat that is generated in the gearbox, that is to be finally transferred to the surrounding. And last, so the power transmission capacity is limited up to 100 kilowatt only. So means up to 100 kilowatt power means can be transmitted by using worm and worm gears. So this is the limitations of the worm gears. So here's another guidelines about the worm gears. Two guidelines. When high speed reduction is required, use single start worm reduction gearbox with low efficiency. So for single starts means likewise here's number of the teeth advanced. Suppose worm advanced one teeth, and how much is the advanced above of the worm wheels. So suppose one teeth advanced above the worm wheels and one teeth above the advance above the worm wheels, then that is called single start. And if the worm teeth above the worm, this is one teeth advanced and two teeth above the worm wheel advance, that is called double start triple start, likewise that is the leads. So that's why this is first guideline, and when low speed reduction, low or medium, you can say medium speed reduction is require use low, medium or low, use multi-start worm reduction gearbox by expenditure of so this is not expenditures, so here's expenditure of, this is efficiency. So here's multiple reductions gearbox, and efficiency will be more. Efficiency will be more. So here's in the, if the speed reductions is high requires, so that times you will get efficiency of the worm reductions gearbox is less because of the expenditures of the efficiency, means efficiency will get less when the high speed reductions is required, and when medium and low efficiency means speed reductions is required, so that times efficiency of the worm reductions gearbox, that is more as compared to single start. So that's why now we'll see what is the terminology of the worm gears, because this terminology is very important. Of worm gears. A pair of worm gear is specified and designed by four quantities as follows. This is Z1, Z2, Q and M. So the designations of the worm gears that is given, likewise Z1 oblique dash Z2. So Z1 is this is number of starts. Z1 is the number of the starts. Z2 is the number of teeth on worm wheel. So number of the teeth on the worm wheels on the worm shafts. This is worm wheel. Q is the quotient, diametral quotient and M is the module. So these are the very important designations above the worm gas. Z1 is this is the number of the start, Z2 is the number of the teeth on the worm wheels, Q is the diametral coefficient, and M is the module of the worm wheels. So the diametral quotient is given by Q equal to D1 into M. So D1 is the pitch circle diameter of worm. So this is the pitch circle diameter of the worm. Likewise, so this is the pitch circle diameters of the worm. D1 equal to D1 is the pitch circle diameter of the worm, and M is the modules. So the worm is similar to screw type, REW, screw type. Now next, so we require here's figure for understanding. This is the end of the worm shaft. This is equal to D1, and this is PX, and this is pitch circle diameter of worm shaft. So the teeth above the worms, the teeth above the worms will observe. So actually the teeth above the worms, shape above the worm. Or this is worm. Yes. This angle is the helix angle. This angle is the helix angle 2 alpha. This is worm, and thread up of the worm wheel, you will see thread up of the worm wheel. Such type of the thread up of the worm wheel. And here's this is thread on the worm shaft. So these threads and this is alpha. This is gamma and this is psi. So this angle is the psi. This is thread length of one revolution. And this is its pi d1. This angle is the psi. This is triple thread worm. So this is triple thread worms, or this you can call as a this is 3 start. First terminology, yes, we'll see, is the helix angle or axial pitch. So the axial pitch, this distance are called as axial pitch. The distance between the measures above the two threads, that is above the worm, that is called as the axial pitch. The axial pitch, of the worm is defined as the distance from a point on the adjacent thread measured along the axis of worm. So this is the axial pitch above the worm is defined as the distance from a point on the adjacent thread measured along the axis above the worm. So the distance between the neighbors to adjacent threads are known as the axial pitch. Second, lead. So lead may be single starts, means that is the lead one. If the two double starts, means that is you can call as a double starts, means two lead. Lead 3 means that is the triple starts, means when the one teeth above the worm wheels, so number of the teeth advanced above the worm shaft is, that is the 3 teeth. So that is called 3 starts. The lead is defined as the lead above the worm is defined as the distance that a point on the helical profile will move when the worm is rotated through one revolution. So it is the thread advance in one turn. So for single start, threads, the lead is equal to axial pitch. For double start, the lead is equal to 2 times to axial pitch. So this is triple starts, or this is the 3 leads. So here's number of the teeth advanced is for 1 devolutions, number of the teeth advanced 2, and if this is 2 starts, number of the teeth advanced is only 2 instead of this, and this is called double start. And this is single start, means this is called as a single start, only 1 teeth in advanced. So this is the triple starts, so that's why this is gamma. So in 1 devolutions, number of the teeth advanced is, that is 3 times. So that's why lead equal to Px into Z1. Z1 is the number of starts. Number of the starts. So that's why when the ratio of the gear ratio or velocity ratio is more than 20, generally we use, when the gear ratio or velocity ratio is more than 20, we will use single starts. So velocity ratio and this is number of start. $20 and above. This is single start. So that may be 100, 200, 300. So that types number of the starts is to be used single start. In between 20 to 32 double start. Or this is 36. 8 to 12 triple start. This is the triple starts. So for this gear ratio is 8 to 12. For spur gears generally gear ratio is 4 to 6, and for helical gears 6 to 8. For bevel gears again 4 to 5, and this is up to 300:1. 6 to 12. So this is quadrant. Quadruple start means for one rotations above the one revolutions, number of the teeth advanced, this is 4. The pitch circle diameter of worm wheel equal to D2 equal to M into Z2, similar to spur gears or helical gears. So that's why this is velocity ratio, and because this figures is required, so that's why I am not erasing these figures. So here's the axial pitch up of the worm, that is equal to the circular pitch up of the worm shaft. From figure it is seen, that the axial pitch of worm should be equal to the circular pitch of the worm wheel. So that's why Px equal to pi d2 into Z2. So that's why pi d2 into, this is the number of the teeth. So that's why pi d2 equal to, so this is M into Z2 divided by Z2. So this will get cancelled. Px equal to, you will get, this is the important relations. Axial pitch equal to pi multiplied by modules. Now next is the lead angle. Lead angle. So this angle are called as gamma or called as lead angle. The lead angle lead angle is defined as, so this is tangent to the perpendicular to the axis, is defined as the angle between a tangent to the thread of the pitch diameter of the of worm and a plane normal to the axis of worm. So this is called gamma is the lead angle. So that's why this tan phi or tan gamma equal to L divided by, this is pi d1 or tan gamma equal to pi into m T1s divided by pi into qm. This pi and m will get cancels, and this is, you can say, Z1 divided by quotient. So this is the Z1 is the number of the teeth on the worms, and this is Q is the quotient, diametral quotient, and this is a relation also important. So next, lead angle, after that pressure angle. So maximum pressure angles in the worm gear, that is the 6 degree. Sorry, this is helix angle. Worm pressure angle is, helix angle is 6 degree, and the pressure angle is generally, this is not less than 20 degree and more than 25 degree. So generally helix angle is in between 20 to 25 pressure angles, and helix angles is generally, maximum helix angles is equal to 6 degree. The helix angle is defined as the angle between a tangent to the thread at the pitch diameter, diameters and the axis of worm. So this is equal to gamma plus, and this is equal to pi by 2. And this is the helix angle should be limited to limited to 6 degree per thread. So I explained what is the meaning of this. For example, if psi equal to 30 degree, then the worm should have at least 5 threads. So if the psi equal to 30 degree, that worm should have at least 5 threads. So this is because the number of the threads on the worms are very less, that may be 5, 6, 7, etc. And the number of the teeth on the worm wheels, that may be 40, 50, 80, 100, 200 likewise. And the means for the one rotations above the worm wheel, if the single starts, rotations above this worm wheel is the 1. So if this is rotations in 360 degree, so this is the only one teeth advanced. After second rotations, this is second teeth advanced. Means if this is number of the teeth on the worm wheels 50, means for 50 revolutions above the worm, the number means 1 revolutions above the worm wheel. So here if this worm wheels revolves 50 times, 1 revolutions above the worm wheel completes. Suppose this is the 1440 RPMs above the worm shaft, because motor directly coupled with the worm shaft. So the rotations above the worm wheels 1440 divided by 50 is near about you can call as a 60 is the number of the rotations, means revolutions of in 1 minute the worm wheels revolves in the 60 revolutions per minute, because 1450 divided by 50, because for one rotations above the worm wheel, means worm shaft, here's only one teeth above the worm wheel, that is advanced. So that's why you will get more worm reductions or more reductions ratio, means gear ratio is you will get in the worm gears. So due to the limitations above the time, today I will stop here and we will continue remaining portions above the worm and gears in the next class. Thank you.